So I went to the Supernatural convention in Minneapolis with some of my best friends, and I am still grinning ear to ear over this experience. I have now been to three Supernatural conventions in the last year, and I cannot express to you all how much fun they are. And I know that not everyone has the same experience, and some of you have been doing these for years, if not a decade or more, but this is all still new to me. And you guys, the experience I had at this last con, I have to tell you about it. Before I get into the many adventures we had, I do want to draw your attention to this Castiel necklace with a little tie and wings, and it has matching earrings. I'm obsessed. I blacked out in the vendor room again. I have some merch I'm gonna show you guys, brand new from this con, so that's coming in the video. Stay tuned. So each Supernatural convention that I've been to thus far has been a completely unique experience. The first one I went to was Burbank Con, March of 2024. I wasn't even done with the show yet. My bestie, the one who introduced me to Supernatural, and I just got tickets on a whim. It was like 10 minutes from where we lived. We pulled up, we enjoyed the panels. We didn't do any autos or ops. We didn't do any extras except for at the last minute, we did go to Richard Speight Jr.'s director's chat panel. But beyond that, we were just enjoying karaoke, the concert, and just taking in the vibes. And I thought, okay, maybe that was a one and done. I can't foresee myself traveling to these cons. I lied. Then, of course, Radio Company announced their concert. Thanks to our now fandom bestie Alicia, we got tickets and we planned an entire trip around visiting Austin, Texas for the first time last August. Went to the concert, went to the con. It was huge in comparison to Burbank. We went from the smallest con to the biggest con in the span of a 6-month period. It was overwhelming in the best way. Had the greatest time. Got to see Austin, got to meet so many new fandom friends. It was a very social experience, and of course the concert was to die for. After that point, I wasn't sure what my third con was going to be, but I did know that we wanted to take our other bestie, Patricia, to her first con. We finally settled on Minneapolis because of some local family in the area, and we just kind of went for it. And because they were having all of those creation sales last fall, we bought everything on steep discount, or steep for creation. It's expensive anyways. And for the first time, we got a silver badge because the seats in Austin were bad in the copper section. And we were like, we don't want to do that again. So because of that, I did autographs for the first time. And we also said, fuck it. And I did 2 photo ops. You guys, I have stories to tell. You guys, look at how beautiful it is. This is a piece of art by Alice X. Zhang. She's a very famous illustrator in fandom spaces and has been for a very long time. And I'm so glad I got it signed. But I do have stories about what went down when I was getting this signed. I wanted you to see the art first. Take it all in. It's beautiful. So your silver badge comes with 5 autographs, 3 being Jensen, Jared, Misha, and the other 2 being 2 that they determined during the convention, I guess. I did not know that. So that's why I had Gil McKinney sign the back of my badge, because I didn't know we even got his autograph. So I was like, okay. So he signed the back. Gil McKinney played Henry Winchester. And then the other one was Elena Huffman. She just had photos at her table. So I was like, sure. She's great. Love her. Love them both. They're very sweet. I'm here to talk about J2M though. So we get in the Misha line first, and I need you all to know that I am wearing a shirt that says "Hot People Love Castiel" by Liz Hand on Etsy, by the way. I'm going to try to put a picture here if I can. Misha had already seen me, by the way, because I was picked to ask a question at his panel. We'll get to that later. But I pull up to his autograph table. He's signing my picture in blue, which I love, and his handler goes, "Misha, look at her shirt," which says "Hot People Love Castiel." And he takes a second and he looks at it and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So we had a moment. It was great. I really enjoyed my auto experience. I then sweep around to Jensen's line. Oh my God. I can't even get into the whole story because it will take up the rest of this video. But let's just say that my 2 besties and I were in a line. Bestie number 1 had an interaction that was hysterical, which then fed into bestie number 2 having a continued interaction with Jensen, which I will keep their stories private for anonymity's sake, but it was hilarious. The 3-way conversation we were having. And then I come up behind them, and for those of you who have followed me and know that I met Jensen back in November at Steve's show, let's just say that there was a moment in which he remembered. because I mentioned something and he was like, wait, where do I know you from? And I'm like, Steve's show. And he had a whole moment of remembering. And I was like, okay, wow. And he goes to sign this and he goes to sign it down here. And I'm like, no, Jensen, can you sign it in the middle? He's like, I was like, I have a vision. He's like, I can tell. He's like, well, clearly I need direction because I'm an actor. And I'm like, yeah, period. So anyways, Jared though, Jared, never met Jared before, was quite nervous. I won't lie. I'd never met Jared in my life. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. He's so nice. He looks at you in the eyes. He makes you feel so safe and heard. He's like, oh, like, hi, sweetheart. Where are you coming from? Like, where are you traveling from? Like, Los Angeles. We're having banter. He's super sweet. And he just completely ignores instruction and signs here. I wanted him to sign here, but it does feel fitting that Jared just chaotically signed here. That does feel on brand, and that Jensen and Misha are like up. It feels right. So now, at first I was like, oh, that's gonna really bother me, and now I'm like, you know what? This actually feels perfect. I love it just the way it is. I'm not even gonna bury the lead here. Are you seeing this right now? Do you see this? My friends pulled together and got me a cast photo op for my birthday. And they moved the photo ops. These are normally done at the end of the day on Sunday. First thing in the morning on Sunday. First thing in the morning. I'd never done a photo op in my life, you guys. I was sweating bullets. When he walked in the room, it was Castiel. He was in full character. That was not Misha Collins. I had met Misha the day before, multiple times. This was someone else. This was my favorite character. I literally turned into a 4-year-old at Disney World meeting Mickey Mouse for the first time. I was so shy. I was like, where is this coming from? Why am I shy? Anyways, it's a very cute photo. I love it. Second photo op experience. You're gonna lose your mind. Are you ready? Listen. No one told me it was the club. Nobody told me J2M photo ops is the club. They are bumping like rap club music through the speakers. Everyone in line is dancing. Everyone in line is having a party. You're partying in line. I don't know what's happening. It's so fast. It is chaos. We literally went up to them and Patricia and I were like celebrating 15 years of friendship, big group hug, squish, whatever we said. Exciting. And Jared goes, yeah, and he like squishes the two of us together, and like Jensen's behind me and he squishes over us, and as you can see here, you can look at the photo, reaches across to Misha. Misha's behind Patricia. It's chaos. It's the best. I had so much fun. This is gonna be our Christmas card. It's very exciting. Yeah, it was worth it. Unfortunately, I was like, oh, what if it isn't worth it? Like, what if I'm disappointed? Nah. It was great. I loved every minute of it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to make a part 2 because there is just not enough time to talk about everything that happened. Got to ask a question in Misha's panel. My 2 best friends also got to ask a question at Misha's panel, so we were like dominating the Misha panel that day if you were watching it on Stage It. One of my friends also got to ask a question at the J2 panel on Sunday, which was amazing, by the way. The J2 panel on Sunday was electrifying. I don't know what was happening. Jensen and Jared were like starting a band on stage. Jensen was singing. Jensen was in the audience on the mic. I don't know what was happening. Like, it was so much fun. I had such a good time. We went to Misha's solo show on Saturday night, which I had seen in Burbank. I forgot I did that in Burbank. Yes, we did that in Burbank. It's so different than it was a year ago. We went to his very first show and he's cut a lot of stories out of it. He's added some things. It's definitely very different. So I'm glad we got to see it. And then, of course, the Loud and Swain show, Saturday Night Special. Got to see all our new fandom friends that we're now talking to regularly, which was so much fun. Oh my gosh, I just had the best time. Like, every single day from start to finish, I was just like hanging out with my friends, doing new things for the first time. The panels were like top notch. The audience was so engaged the whole weekend. It was like a really good vibe in Minneapolis. I feel very, very, very lucky. I've run out of time, so in part 2, I'm going to talk about the merch I picked up in the vendor room, some additional thoughts I have about the con, and my experience asking Misha a question at his panel that went a little viral. So stay tuned for part 2. So this is video number 2 on my experiences going to the Supernatural convention in Minneapolis. I wanted to show you guys the merch and stuff I bought at the con, and also talk about my experience asking Misha Collins a question at his solo panel that went a little viral. Those are two things I did not get to touch on in my last video. But if you want to hear about my experience doing photo ops for the first time and autos, as well as a little bit of background on what other cons I've been to in the last year and how this one was different, go check out part 1. So I've been to 3 Supernatural cons in the last year, and for Misha and Jared and Jensen, you have to submit your name into a random raffle to even get selected to ask a question. You can't just walk up to the mic like you can with other panels. And the other 2 cons I went to, I got picked for Misha's line both times. But neither time they got to me, because sometimes you get put on the list and depending on how long they talk, they just don't get to you. So I mostly just watched the panel from the sidelines, which I was totally fine with. Got picked again this time, but I did get to ask a question. And what transpired after was not something I was prepared for. I went in with a completely innocuous question. Okay, in fact, let me read you the question that I asked. I'm going to read it off my notes here because I had it on my phone and I read it off my phone. Have you ever answered a question at a convention and later thought about it and wished you'd answered it differently? If so, what was it and what would you say? You can go to my profile right now and watch the full panel, including me asking the question and his entire full answer if you're curious. But without one moment of hesitation, Misha launches in to telling me about Straightgate. If you do not know what Straightgate is, you are not in the Supernatural fandom, I guess, because Straightgate is when Misha Collins accidentally came out as bisexual at a convention in New Jersey 3 years ago. And apparently I didn't know this because, again, I'm new here. The weekend of the Minneapolis convention was the 3-year anniversary of that happening. He launches into this immediately. He starts telling me the whole story. Me and the audience, the whole story from start to finish. I don't think he's talked about this since it happened. And I forgot that they were streaming this on Stage It for thousands of people to see around the world. And immediately the rumor started that whoever asked the question asked about Straightgate. That was not what happened. You can go to my profile and see me ask the question. I did not bring it up. In fact, it didn't even occur to me that he would talk about that. Let's be so real. Misha puts his foot in his mouth almost every single con. I love him, but oh my God, the things he has said over the years, some of which is regrettable. I thought, man, he's got like 50 things at the top of his head to choose from. Like, it didn't occur to me that he would talk about him accidentally coming out as bisexual, which was like a very contentious topic in the fandom. And I was like, oh no. Immediately my best friend is on Twitter. She's like on Twitter seconds after he finishes answering the question because the rumor mill had already started and she was shutting things down left and right. She's like, no, my friend did not ask about that. He brought it up on his own. I want it on the record. So yeah, being explained Straightgate by Misha Collins himself as my first interaction with him as I'm wearing a Hot People Love Castiel shirt and hot pink pants was really an experience. I won't lie. That was the only question I asked all weekend. My bestie did ask J2 a question at the Sunday panel. That was the question that spurred Jensen to talk about IP, which was really interesting. I mean, like I said in my last video, the panels popped off at Minneapolis. Also, people were crashing each other's panels like the whole weekend. Jared came in randomly on a panel that was like unexpected. You know, Ruth crashed a panel. It was so great. Like everyone was in such a good mood. I really truly couldn't have asked for a better experience. So with that being said, let's get into some of the merch that I bought. First things first, the shirts. I normally don't buy Supernatural shirts from booths or really from like branded Supernatural websites because I don't really like a lot of it, but I really like this. It says the Wayward Sons and Daughters, and it's got some quote things around it. It's very cute. It's in this nice green color. I was like, okay, that's actually something I would wear. And then for those of you following my journey, my father, who is getting into Supernatural right now, he's on season 11 and his favorite character is Bobby. I got him a Winchester and Sons, a Hunter's Whiskey, Bob Singer, whatever it says. Yeah, Bobby Singer, proprietor, Lawrence, Kansas, blah, blah, blah. My dad's a whiskey drinker, so I was like, yeah, that's what he's getting for Father's Day. Which, by the way, Father's Day will be the 1-year anniversary of him starting Supernatural, because I made him watch the pilot last Father's Day. So that's fun. Okay, so pins and stickers. I'm very sad because the Destiel cowboy pin that I bought fell off. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it. So it's in the wind somewhere. But I did buy this edition, which is the mixtape. These I already had. These I had bought from previous cons. So that's already on the bag. I also got, because I love enamel pins, my people skills are rusty. And this very beautiful, it's not going to focus, but it's cast on top of the Impala. This goes on my corkboard. I'm not going to put this on the bag. It's way too big. If you saw my other video, my Cass necklace, and it comes with matching earrings. And then most of everything else I bought was actually for a friend of ours who we are putting through Supernatural for the first time. She's not done yet, and she's not going to see this because I've blocked her from my TikTok page because of spoilers. But I bought her a bunch of birthday gifts. But here are some stickers I got. So we got a Misha sticker that my friend got me. I got 2 911 stickers, a Buddy one, and just like a 118 one. This cute little illustrated one. And then for our friend, this is what I got for her birthday coming up. And a lot of these stickers I already have and I bought in Burbank, but I wanted her to have one. This is a keychain and it is Cass and Cats, which is so cute. She is a cat girly and a Cass girly, so she is going to really love this. Real quick rapid fire. We got the car. We got the some animated, like, illustrated versions. This isn't funny, Dean. The voices, I'm almost out of minutes. This lives on the back of my phone case all the time. And then we have the 3 of them in cartoon form. And the 3 of them in cartoon form again. Eat Pie, Kill Demons, a good standard sticker to have. And then You Are Loved, and some more illustrated versions of them. It's very cute. We're all sticker girlies in our friend group, and like we're constantly buying each other stickers. It's actually such a problem. So I couldn't resist. You know what I'm saying? I could not resist. I think that's it for the merch though. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, that was it. Truly, I've said this already a few times. Impeccable con experience. I had such fun visiting Minneapolis for the first time because I was born and raised in Southern California and I've traveled very little throughout the United States. Like when I went to Austin Con, that was the first time I'd ever been to Texas. When I went to Minnesota, that was the first time I'd ever been to Minnesota. Like I've never even been anywhere near Minnesota. I was so enamored by the whole like, how it's just different than California. I'm so used to Southern California. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so charming here. And I feel very lucky to have been able to experience that with my besties. And I won't lie, at some point when the finances recoup, I'm going back. If anything, because the 4th bestie who is currently going through Supernatural right now, the one who I bought all these stickers for, we've promised her that we would take her to a con when she finishes. So when that happens, I don't know if that's going to be like end of this year. It'll probably be 2026, which, oh my God, the idea of waiting that long to go to another con makes me sad. But this is expensive, you guys. I don't know how you all do it every weekend. That's crazy. I'm still recovering financially from the last 2. So yeah, but I won't lie, worth it. As someone who went to the Eras Tour multiple times, worth every penny. I'm one of those girls that will like, if I find something I love to go to, like an event type thing, a concert type thing, I will spend money on it. I otherwise don't really spend money frivolously is the word. In my regular everyday life, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't go out and eat. I just don't really spend a lot of money when I'm home. So it's really nice when I do get to like spend money on things that I really enjoy and really have fun doing. So yeah, anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. I now feel like I fully am like well-versed in Supernatural con culture at this point. And I guess the next thing we're going to be doing, which isn't a con, but Loud and Swain is doing a show in LA in June. So I will be going to that. If anyone else is going to that, let me know. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.